Live TNT NBA Spanish language feed now available via SAP. And there is Maurice Cheeks. And tell you what, when he was a player with the Philadelphia 76ers, he knew what it was like to win a championship, a very tough competitor. And I liked his attitude in the beginning of the game when he talked about the fact that forget about the numbers, you've got to take it one game. I know it's a cliche, but what else can you do?
It's true. I had past years with the Knicks when he was there for about a year and a half, and what I understood after seeing him play was he is a great competitor. Forget the quiet demeanor. That man is competitive, he is intense, and he is focused, and he has had a great year with this team that is sometimes dysfunctional, getting them to 50 wins, and I believe they're going to come out and play a good game because they're going to feed off of his resolve.
He's a tough kid from Chicago. And as Isaiah Thomas was, and so many of the guards who had tough goings in the neighborhoods of Chicago. So don't be deceived by the pleasant look on Maurice Cheeks' face as the tip controlled by the Mavericks and Steve Nash. Nash guarded by Stoudemire. Stoudemire forced to start with Pippen out with an injury. And there is Bradley from the corner putting the Mavericks up 2-0.
Bradley's an underrated 15-foot jump shooter, particularly along the baseline. You've got to really contest it, make him put the ball on the floor.
Shooting 39% in the series, had only 4 points, but there are always several players for the Mavericks to pick things up. Here is Bonzi Wells with the double team. Davis with 6 on the shot clock, and Wallace going back to Davis. Awkward shot, getting his own rebound, and the foul just at the 24-second clock.
There you saw two things, Dick. The improved Dallas defense. Dallas is competing very hard at the defensive end throughout this series, and the way Portland's going to win this game. Get it up on the board and then attack the board. They've dominated the rebounding game. They've got to continue to do that today to have a chance to extend the series.
Davis, who's been a terror off the boards, one of the bright spots for the Trailblazers in this series, and only a 63% shooter from the line during the regular season. And he's about 64% right now, so he's according to form. There are Dale Davis's numbers, the veteran who played most of his career with the Indiana Pacers and was traded for Jermaine O'Neal, and the trade as a result.
If they can sign O'Neal when he becomes a free agent this summer, that'll be a tremendous trade for the Indiana Pacers.
Finley guarded by Wells. Here is Nowitzki. Finley for 3 and hits. The Dallas Mavericks have 15 more threes than the Portland Trailblazers, and that adds up to a whale a number of points.
Sometimes good offense just beats good defense. That time Portland played very good defense. Finley just knocked in an excellent contested three-pointer.
Wells double team for the moment, the turnaround, and Rasheed Wallace comes back 5-4 with a minute and a half gone by. Little pressure by Stoudemire in the backcourt. Nash trying to penetrate inside with the fall away, and here is a fast break opportunity. Zach Randolph getting the rebound. 3-on-2 for the moment, and Stoudemire has it blocked by Nowitzki, and here come the Mavericks, who have a 3-on-2 advantage, and throwing the ball away on an uncommon instance for him is Steve Nash.
Well, he thought Finley was going to run the right wing for a layup. Finley was running to spot up for the jump shot. Miscommunication led to a turnover.
Trailblazers, the 6th seed, won 50 games, and a lot of people thought this series would go to 6 or 7 games. That was before the injuries to the starting backcourt for Portland. Here's Zach Randolph inside, and the holding foul before he went up with the shot as we send it over to Craig.
Well, part of Mo Cheeks' game plan thrown out just moments before this one tipped off. He had been working a lot with Arvydas Sabonis, who had 16 points and 4 rebounds in Game 3, making him a big factor for this game plan here tonight. He was at the shoot-around today, but suddenly, just before the game, Sabonis said he had back spasms and could not play tonight.
Nowitzki on the steal and hits the basket. So Nowitzki picked up the personal foul, makes the defensive play, and scores at the other end.
Steal, handles the ball in the open court, shoots an unbalanced pull-up jump shot. People don't realize how big he is and how difficult what you just saw really is for the normal size player.
Wallace going back to Stoudemire, Nash staying with him. Here's Randolph underneath, lost the ball as he put it up, and here come the Mavericks. who are up by 3 points, trying to sweep and running right into Bonzi Wells was Steve Nash. So Nash off to a shaky start for him. And Stoudemire fakes the three, and Randolph from the corner. Nowitzki getting the rebound. Nowitzki doing a great job off the boards in this series, averaging nearly 10 a game.
Here's the difficult thing to cover. Nash, Nowitzki, pick and roll. What are they going to do? Fake trap and then get back.
They have not solved the pick and roll yet this series, but there is Bonzi Wells with the steal, and there is Nash deflecting Randolph's pass. He tried to get it to Rasheed Wallace up ahead and couldn't do it. Here is Finley missing the three, but Nowitzki at the other end gets the basket and the foul.
Dick, invariably when you screw up a transition opportunity like Zach Randolph just did by throwing the bad pass, it always leads to trouble going the other way. Finley, open three, mismatch on the board with Stoudemire and Nowitzki. Nowitzki, easy three-point play opportunity.
Stoudemire with the personal foul, and Dirk Nowitzki trying to open up a 6-point lead for the Mavericks here in the first quarter, and he does. 85% shooter from the line. Scottie Pippen, sore knee, says doesn't feel he can do much on the court. So he's in civilian clothes for the second straight game.
And you're seeing Dallas in a 1-3-1 zone. That was an excellent opportunity by Portland.
And a great save that time by Dirk Nowitzki, doing everything now for the Mavericks as we get close to the 8-minute mark in the first quarter. Mavericks shooting 4 of 6 from the field. Nowitzki with a great pass to Bradley. Randolph got a piece of it, and then the foul is called. Randolph did get a piece of the ball. Don Nelson trying to see his team advance quickly to the second round.
There Nowitzki just penetrates. Really good handle. Nice pass off the dribble. And Bradley was fouled on the second shot. And getting back to Don Nelson. 60-game winner. About to sweep a first-round series. There should be no question, as there has been in some media speculation, that he won't be the coach next year. He's done such an outstanding job. Who else would you want to coach the Dallas Mavericks?
Well, you know, you can complain that maybe he doesn't win the title, then all of a sudden you change coaches and you don't win anywhere near 60 games. And there is Dale Davis, and the foul is called. No basket. And Davis will go to the line, but Don Nelson, who has been head coach 25 years, and an impressive regular season record, and you know, sometimes you don't know what you have until you don't have him anymore.
I'm going to say this, and I truly believe this, Dick. Dallas would not have won as many games as they did with any other person coaching that team. And you can talk about what you haven't accomplished, which is get past the second round. But winning in the playoffs, you build. Last year's second round, maybe this year they'll take another step. But you have to give some credit to the competition they played.
Rafe LaFrentz with his second foul goes out. Eduardo Najera, who has been a very tough physical defensive player in the series, replaces him. Why, you said they wouldn't be there without Nelson, wouldn't have won as many games? Why?
Well, I think he's nurtured them from an offensive standpoint. Bringing in Nash. Remember his first year there, Nash was injured. People were booing him. He kept the confidence level high in Nash. He developed and traded for Nowitzki. He got Finley to accept his third wheel role. He's made Bradley an improved player, and he's got them to play more defense and camouflage their individual weakness on the defensive end. All those things he's done exceptionally well.
And the defense showed it with an improvement this year. This time, Rasheed Wallace knocks the ball away from Nowitzki. 3-on-2 break, and the lay-in for Zach Randolph. That time the Blazers were able to finish.
I like the intensity Bonzi Wells and Rasheed Wallace and the whole Portland team is playing with today. They've got to get after Dallas and make them feel it. Make them feel your presence on the floor.
Nash inside, and Najera with the short shot. So Eduardo Najera, who had outstanding series, had 11 points and 5 rebounds in the last game. Under 7 minutes remaining in the first quarter. The score is 12-8 in favor of the Mavericks. Blazers trying to stay alive at home. And there is Rasheed Wallace with the one-hander. He has 4 points. And Dale Davis matched with him with 4 to lead Portland.
Portland's doing an excellent job attacking the zone defense of Dallas. They're getting the ball into the middle of the floor and getting quality opportunities. And so I would be very surprised if Dallas doesn't limit their zone use and play more straight man-to-man.
6.5 to go. Nash going outside to Nowitzki. Wallace staying with him, going after the ball. He knocked it over one time, and this time they're going to call it on Rasheed Wallace. The personal foul, and it'll be his first personal. And Ruben Patterson coming into the game now. Ruben Patterson with a career playoff high 19 points and 9 rebounds. 18 of those points coming in the first half of game number 2, replaces Wallace, who goes to the bench. Wells on Nowitzki right now. So Nowitzki has size in that matchup.
And it's an interesting change Maurice Cheeks has in his rotation tonight. He's taking Wallace out earlier, trying to get Patterson into the game and maybe resting him so that their second unit has his prolific scoring ability on the floor.
And that's why he didn't want to start Ruben Patterson. He wanted his energy coming off the bench. Bradley picking up his first foul, sending Davis again to the line.
There Wells goes baseline, does a nice job of dishing along the baseline to Dale Davis, and Davis going up strong. Davis is at his best when he's rebounding and involved offensively. He's gotten himself involved early tonight.
He has averaged 11 rebounds in the 3 games thus far, and his first miss from the line after clicking on 4 straight. How difficult is it for a team? I know that's your job, is to play hard, but you're down 3-0 against a team that's very hot. It's a very high mountain to climb at this point.
Well, I think your belief can take a hit by losing, particularly the home game. So the main thing is to have solid internal leadership. And that's always been the question about Portland. Do they have internal leadership within their players? They've got great leadership in Maurice Cheeks, but who's going to lead them in a sense of belief that they can win tonight and win in Dallas? They have to keep that belief. That's how you come back and play well.
Here is Finley firing over Wells, and Randolph getting the rebound with under 6 minutes remaining in this first quarter. The Mavericks lead the Trailblazers by 1. Here is Patterson in the corner, stepping back for 3, and hitting is Bonzi Wells.
And that's all coming off great team defense at the other end. Portland is energized defensively and making it very difficult on Dallas and then turning it into transition points.
And Randolph, a big spark for the Trailblazers in the starting role, feeding Davis inside. Lost the ball, but a blocking foul called against the Mavericks. And Sean Bradley on the floor. LaFrentz already committing 2 fouls. And this foul will be against Bradley, his second. Well, those two got into foul trouble in the opening game of this series, and a timeout.
There is Rasheed Wallace with the type of defense he needs to play. It initiates the transition game. Stoudemire hits Randolph. Nice transition basket.
Portland with the lead.
An outstanding series, and certainly he's showing what you need to do to take your team to the second round.
And an Ironman, obviously missing only 2 minutes of the action thus far. The Mavericks came out strong, led 10-4, but the Trailblazers on a 10-2 run have reversed things, and they own their first lead of the game, 14-12, with Zach Randolph on the free throw line. And the free throw miss. Trailblazers 70% shooting from the line in this series. This has not been a good free throw team, and he makes 1 out of 2 to give Portland the 3-point lead. So the Mavericks trying to regain their hot early start. Nowitzki getting inside to Nahara. Here's Bradley, and good recovery by Sean Bradley after the 11-2 run by the Trailblazers.
Remember last year, Bradley gave Dallas next to nothing, and this year, through a lot of work in the summer, a lot of dedication, he's made himself a productive player.
So that's another Don Nelson project with his staff that maybe getting dividends here. Stoudemire hitting a three. So the Trailblazers, with their starting backcourt each hitting from downtown, open up a 4-point lead.
And that's where Stoudemire is at his best, when he's thinking score and attack and be aggressive. He's not going to get much going to the basket with the size of Dallas. He's got to think score in transition, shoot that pull-up, and run some pick and roll.
Meanwhile, Nash is 0 for 3 from the field. Starting off in cold fashion, Davis taps it out, and a loose ball foul called against the Dallas Mavericks. Steve Nash in game number 2 was out of sight with his shooting, but he has gotten off to a cold start here. 2 turnovers and 0 for 3 shooting. And Damon Stoudemire on the line after Nash's foul. Damon Stoudemire began his career with the Toronto Raptors, won Rookie of the Year honors. And his star has dipped a bit, but now trying to regain it, having been most of the season on the bench. Log on to NBA.com or America Online, keyword NBA.com, for the exclusive 2003 playoff section featuring live post-game press conferences, photo galleries, video highlights, and more. Love it live on NBA.com. Stoudemire 2 for 2, and the Trailblazers lead 20-14. Wells all over Finley. Nick Van Exel, who has had a terrific series as the backup point guard, gets the shot and the three-point basket. Good feed to the outside, and Van Exel continues his hot play, coming off a 14-point game.
And that was all caused by the mismatch after the pick and roll. They had to come and help. Stoudemire against Finley, opened up the three. Van Exel knocked it in.
This is game 4 of this best-of-7 Western Conference first-round battle. The Dallas Mavericks winning the first 3 games, looking to shut down Maurice Cheeks and the Trailblazers. Trailblazers lead by 3 in the first quarter. Dick Stockton, along with Jeff Van Gundy and Craig Sager. Portland trying to stay alive here at home. Wells missing from the perimeter. Van Exel getting it to Nowitzki. Wells was overplaying but recovers. Plenty of time on the shot clock. 3:20 to go in the first quarter. Van Exel trying to post up against Stoudemire with the fall away. And the foul called. And it'll be a loose ball foul against Nahara of the Mavericks. It'll be his first. Dallas is in the penalty with 3:13 remaining here in the first quarter. Trailblazers in the playoffs for the 21st consecutive year and 26 of the last 27. That's tremendous consistency for these great fans in the Pacific Northwest.
Exactly. I don't think Portland or Utah, for that matter, who also has a long run of playoff appearances, I don't think they get the credit for the consistency that they have shown over 2 decades. It's really been a tremendous accomplishment. It's not always just about winning the championship. It's about consistent, sustained excellence. And Portland has had that.
Evan Eschmeyer in the playoffs for the first time in the series. Another big man for Don Nelson to use, replaces Sean Bradley, who went out with 2 fouls at 4 points. 21-17. 1 free throw that time at the line. So as we wind down to 3 minutes to go in the first quarter, Trailblazers in front. Finley along with Van Exel. Eschmeyer setting a screen for Nowitzki, and Nahara, and Nowitzki off the glass. And Zach Randolph, very active, doing a terrific job off the defensive boards. He has 4 rebounds thus far. Van Exel blanketing Stoudemire. And Randolph finding Davis, who's bumped by Eschmeyer, committing the foul, and Dale Davis will go to the free throw line once again. He has hit 5 of 6 from the line, and a timeout with 2:37 remaining in the first quarter. Trailblazers desperate, trying to stay alive with a slim lead.
And now Minnesota has great pressure on them to win Game 5 at home, because if they lose that one, they know the Lakers would be very difficult. And when you have Shaquille O'Neal on the floor, you always have the advantage He is the only person in this league that there is no defense for.
Now, just as the Lakers knew when to turn it on during the regular season, they now know when to turn it on in a playoff game to turn things their way. It's almost like they're toying with the opposition at times.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, though. I've been so impressed with Kevin Garnett and Flip Saunders. How they took that beating in the first game and responded with 3 outstanding games shows a great belief and trust between star player and coach. And it's been transmitted to the other Timberwolves. It's been an outstanding series.
Well, Jeff, Kevin Garnett, my personal pick for MVP this year, may not get it. Van Exel from the outside and a foul called against Dallas.
I think it's a 2-horse race. I think it's Duncan or Garnett. I think you can make a great case for either one.
Evan Eschmeyer picks up his second foul, and Don Nelson. Talk about the technicals that Portland has had this year. What about Don Nelson? He's had a couple in this series. Eschmeyer with his second personal foul. The lead is 5 with 2:22 to go. And guess who's on the free throw line again? He might as well set up shop there. It's Dale Davis, who has been on the line so far 8 times, hitting 6.
This could be a career high in a quarter for Dale Davis free throw attempts. It's going to be his 9th and 10th attempt. It's a great way to get yourself going in a game, is to earn your way to that free throw line, get some easy points, so not everything has to be a difficult score over someone in the paint.
His 11th year in postseason. He was slowed somewhat by a lower back strain, but he has really been a rock-solid rebounder for Maurice Cheeks in this series.
And think about it, Dick. He was a power forward in the Eastern Conference. Now, traded to Portland, asked to play the center spot against the great size out in the West. That's a tremendous sacrifice for Dale Davis.
But Jeff, he missed 2 opportunities, and now as we get close to the 2-minute mark of this quarter, 5-point lead for the Trailblazers. They have not led after the first quarter in any of the 3 previous games. Here's the pass, and it's knocked away. Nahara picks it up and lays it in. Nearly a turnover by the Blazers, and Dallas capitalizes.
Dallas scored, but what you're seeing is a re-energized Portland defense. They're holding them down. Field goal defense. They've already forced 4 turnovers, and you're seeing the aggression on the offensive end. They've already been to the free throw line 16 times.
Ruben Patterson, and Randolph tries to keep it alive, but they're going to call it on Zach Randolph. And Randolph committing the personal foul. That is the 4th team foul, so 1 more by the Trailblazers, and they will be in the penalty. The Mavericks have been that way for a while. So 1:40 remaining, and Rasheed Wallace back into the game. Wallace scoring 4 points. And Bonzi Wells defending Finley, and an advantage here for Nowitzki. Knocked away by Ruben Patterson. Great timing on the steal. Bonzi Wells going up. It's deflected and cleaned up by Patterson. Well, that aggressiveness that you're talking about affecting the Trailblazers at both ends now.
That's great energy. Deflection that led to the transition hoop as Van Exel knocks it in, runs the lane, Wells loses it, and then Patterson sticks it back in. That's great effort by Ruben Patterson.
And Van Exel now with 5 points off the bench. Again, a 3-point lead for Portland with under a minute remaining here in the first quarter. And there's a good pass in the low post to Randolph. Misses the turnaround. And here come the Mavericks trailing by 3. Van Exel finding Nowitzki. Nowitzki. And the rebound taken down. Stoudemire with a 4-on-2, and Zach Randolph converts. 6 points for Randolph, getting the start as Mo Cheeks changed his starting lineups with his 2 starting guards out of there. Van Exel from outside, and a loose ball foul called against the Trailblazers.
Ruben Patterson reaches from behind, deflects it to Wells, and now they go in transition, and this is where Portland is at its best. Wells gets it deflected, but there's Patterson on the hustle to stick it back in. Defense, run the floor, pursue the loose ball, stick it back in. Tremendous effort by Patterson, and that's what he brings a team. Instant energy. What is he great at? There's not one area that he's great at, but he's a great energy reserve.
Former Seattle Sonic as Eduardo Nahara on the line. Only the 2nd free throw of the game. And Antonio Daniels coming in now, and Daniels who made a start in the last game, and a hand for Zach Randolph as he goes out having scored 6 points. Dale Harris, longtime coach in the NBA, head coach with the Houston Rockets, LA Lakers, Milwaukee Bucks, talking with Don Nelson. A lot of experience there.
The most combined victories on any bench from a head coaching standpoint in the league. Those are two outstanding minds, and they've worked together for a long time.
15 on the shot clock, and you see the time remaining in the first quarter. Wide spacing by the Trailblazers. Bonzi Wells way off the mark. And now with 8 seconds to go, plenty of time for the Mavericks to set up the last shot of the quarter. Trailing by 3, Van Exel. And the shot is missed by Raja Bell, who just entered the game, and that'll do it. Well, the Mavericks had scored 30 or more points in 4 of their last 5 quarters, but the Portland defense has come up big. And right now, at the end of the first quarter, the Portland Trailblazers, with their first lead after the first 12 minutes, will take a 26-23 lead over the Mavericks into the second.
Up 3-0 right now in this series, most likely Portland. And I think when you think about Pippen, you see what his offense is, but he is the best perimeter help defender that may have ever played in the NBA. So his value, as much as it is with his poison offense, it's magnified tenfold at the defensive end.
This is not as dramatic, but in the '89 NBA Finals, Magic Johnson and Byron Scott both had hamstring injuries, and they were out, and the Pistons swept them in 4 straight. So it could be debilitating injuries, and that was in an NBA Finals. Antonio Daniels off the front rim, and Van Exel the rebound as we start the second quarter. Dick Stockton along with Jeff Van Gundy and Craig Sager. Dallas shooting 39% in the first quarter. That's 10% less than they did in the first 3 games of this series. So Portland's doing something right on the defensive end.
Oh, they are renewed defensively. Even that shot right there by Nowitzki, which is such a difficult shot, that was well defended. And what you want to do is just keep wearing on a team, wearing on a team, wearing on a team. If you do that, you'll get their field goal percentage down enough to have a chance to win. Jeff
Nowitzki now with 7 points in the game. And here is Bonzi Wells had the open shot and hits. So Bonzi Wells coming back now. 2 of 6 from the field and 5 points. Good balance for the Portland scores. Van Exel driving in and scoring. Nick Van Exel in his 10th year from Cincinnati and began his career with the Lakers, now with 7.
There's a combination of the Nowitzki pick and roll. It's a side pick and roll with Van Exel and Nowitzki. Ruben Patterson didn't want to give help, therefore Van Exel got all the way to the rim, and Stoudemire knocks in it too.
So hitting from the perimeter, first Wells and then Stoudemire, who has a 7 and a 3-point lead again for the Trailblazers. Here's Nowitzki with the fall away going away from the basket, and Nowitzki now with 9 points and now seems to be in rhythm. He is shooting 54% coming in this game from the field.
And what the defenders for Portland are not doing well is taking away his left-hand drive. He's going left on every closeout. You've got to make him put it down to his right sometimes.
Bonzi Wells comes back with a basket. 2 minutes gone by, and teams now firing away. Dallas 3 for 3 so far in this second quarter. And here's Nowitzki over Daniels, and he'll take advantage of that size all night. He won't have Daniels on him for long, though, Jeff.
The switch of the pick and roll just doesn't work now with Nowitzki because he's improved his post-up game.
Patterson.
I'm sorry, Dick. You can't switch that pick and roll.
Patterson comes right back. Now we can't keep up with all of the scoring going on here with the 2.5 gone by. It is 34-31. Nowitzki again over Daniels.
Switched again, that time 1 dribble. He's just going to shoot over the top of Daniels or any really of the Portland guards.
Dirk Nowitzki 4 for 4 here in the second quarter, 13 points. Bonzi Wells driving to the basket is fouled. As Jeff McGinnis comes into the game, another one of the guards.
And there after the switch, Nowitzki had it in the post. Daniels did a good job. He tried to body up and contest. You're talking about a legitimate 7-footer with a high release. You're not going to affect this shot if you're a 6'4" guard.
Personal on Eduardo Najera. So Wells with McGinnis, Daniels, Rasheed Wallace, who's fouled, and Ruben Patterson. And another quick foul on Nahara, and that'll be 3 on Eduardo Nahara, who has been a big factor in the physical aspect and the defensive aspect of the Mavericks off the bench.
Just like Patterson comes off for Portland with great energy, so too does Nahara. May not be reflected in the stats all the time, but great effort.
And Patterson made a great move, but Rafe LaFrentz got the block. And Wells going back in, and he misses, but a loose ball foul called against the Trailblazers. But I'll tell you, this team is down 3-0. Maurice Cheeks has this team crashing the boards. They're playing their fullest at this point.
They are ready, and they are prepared, and that's a credit to the Portland coaching staff.
Foul was on Patterson, and we'll be right back to the Rose Garden Arena.
You're going to leave anybody open. You shouldn't be leaving Dirk Nowitzki open. But I think defense comes all back to habits, Dick. And Portland has not been a good defensive team throughout the regular season. You're not going to just turn it on come playoff time. So they struggle with defense in the regular season. They're struggling now. They'll continue to struggle until they get a different mindset.
And Nowitzki short this time on the 3, and has redefined the power forward role for sure in this league.
Absolutely, he can shoot it deep, he can post up, and he can take people off the dribble. There's nothing he can't do on the offensive end.
Bonzi Wells, and Wells now with 9 points. He has 3 field goals here in this second quarter. Again, a 3-point lead, and that was the margin at the end of 1. Don Nelson signals the play. Raja Bell, who played 3 minutes in game number 1, has seen some time here in the second quarter. Played 2 years with the 76ers. Started 32 games this season. And there's a long-range 3 attempt missing by Van Exel. And here come the Trailblazers with nearly 4 minutes gone by, leading by 4, trying to stay alive. Great move by Patterson, but he could not lay it in, did not finish. So an opportunity going by the boards for the Trailblazers. And Van Exel to a cutting Rafe LaFrentz. Pretty pass by Nick Van Exel.
And every team in this league would like to have the luxury of having a backup point guard the caliber of Van Exel. He and Nash have really played well as a combination at the point because they've sacrificed their games and ego.
Here's Rasheed Wallace in and out with the shot attempt. LaFrentz getting the rebound, and the Mavericks in a position to regain the lead. Nowitzki bumping, no call on Wallace. Pick and roll to Nahara, and the foul down low. Foul is on McGinnis, his first.
Van Exel, great look to LaFrentz cutting underneath the basket, and then LaFrentz with a very good finish, a very difficult finish for a 7-footer.
Substitutions for both teams. Adrian Griffin reporting in for the Dallas Mavericks. Dale Davis, there's Griffin. Davis coming back in, replacing Ruben Patterson. For the Trailblazers, he scored 4 points while he was in there. Eduardo Nahara now with a chance to tie after coming up empty on the first attempt.
And I like Dallas's poise. Portland gave him a great shot to start the game with great energy, great intensity, and Dallas has done a good job managing their way through a difficult start where Portland shot so many free throws to hang in there.
So Eduardo Nahara, formerly a second-round draft pick by the Houston Rockets and traded to the Dallas Mavericks, ties the game at 36, 7:20 remaining in this second quarter. Wells defended by Griffin, and a skip pass, and the pass from Daniels down low, not going up with it was Davis. Not a good pass from Daniels, and that time the miss by McGinnis.
Good offense. Have to put that pass to McGinnis on target so he can shoot in rhythm, but they moved the ball extremely well.
Van Exel and nearly picked off by Davis. It got through, and Rafe LaFrentz with the basket. So LaFrentz who is active coming off a game in which he had fouled out with 20 points in the third game of the series, putting the Mavericks up 38-36 after that burst by the Trailblazers. 6:47 remaining in the first half. Game 4 with Dallas having won the first 3.
Gives them an advantage almost every single night, and it's been no exception here in Game 4.
Steve Nash back into the game, did not score, missed all 3 shots he attempted, turned it over a couple of times, so he's back at guard. Dale Davis shuffles it off to Bonzi Wells, the air ball, and Nowitzki comes down with it. So 7 rebounds for Dirk Nowitzki, who has 13 points in the game. It's Van Exel, Nowitzki, Rafe LaFrentz, Steve Nash, and Adrian Griffin for the Mavericks. Here's LaFrentz. Wells clears.
And right now, Portland's belief and intensity has to go up. To start the game, it was high. Now it's dipped a little bit with the Mavericks run. They can't lose trust and belief now.
And the drive across the lane missed by Rasheed Wallace, who has 4 points all in the first quarter. Nash defended by Antonio Daniels. McGinnis and Daniels, along with Wells, Davis, and Wallace on defense for the Trailblazers in white. Griffin firing over Wells.
If you're Portland, that's who you want shooting the ball for the Mavericks. And down at this end, I think Portland's got to post Rasheed Wallace.
Driving on Nash was Daniels, and the ball tipped out of bounds, last touch by the Mavericks, as we check in again with Craig Sager.
Well, Jeff was talking about the Dallas bench. Usually it's a short bench, an 8-man rotation. We've already seen 10 players on the floor for Dallas tonight. Did 2 early fouls to LaFrentz and Bradley, part of it, but also a lot of missed defensive assignments. The one player that does not come off the floor, Dirk Nowitzki, in 4 games. He has played 148 out of 150 minutes. Why? Coach Nelson says, why not?
I wouldn't take him out either. I don't think you would either, Jeff.
That's what I love about Nelly. He keeps it simple. Keep your best players on the floor for your most minutes.
Wallace with the turnaround. Rasheed Wallace now with 6, tying the game at 38. And no wonder that Don Nelson going deeper into his bench, considering that Sabonis, Anderson, and Pippen not playing. It's a short bench for Mo Cheeks.
Exactly. And what we saw down there, again, there's the pick and roll.
Oh, Nowitzki with another 3. This is his first of the game, and he has 16 now.
You got to rotate early to Nowitzki. You can't be there late. You got to be early. Portland's been consistently late off the pick and roll.
And steps called on Damon Stoudemire, turning it over. So Stoudemire enters the game and travels. And now the Mavericks, who are up by 3, regaining the impetus in the game that they had very early on when they established a 10-4 lead.
Exactly. And we saw before, Dick, where Wallace scored in the paint. I think he's got to get the ball on nearly every possession in the block area so that he can be a factor in this game. I don't think he's being utilized enough by his teammates. His teammates have to sense who is the star, who's going to lead us, get him the ball.
And right now Wallace has to keep his cool as he argues against the personal foul, his second. And Wallace, by the way, averaging 18 points in the series, which is his season's average, but really has not been in command at any point from that standpoint. Nash, and the 3-point attempt over the top.
There, Dallas added a different wrinkle to the Nowitzki-Nash pick and roll. Nowitzki handled, and Nash set the screen, caused confusion in the Portland rotation, and an open 3 by Nash that he just missed.
Slow start for Steve Nash, but we saw him explode as he did in Game 2, including the big hoop in that 4-point victory. And the turnaround by Zach Randolph. It looks like Randolph is going to have to play major minutes because the Trailblazers have really blossomed with him in there.
And they've played well with their big front line with Rasheed Wallace at the small forward position. So I think you're right. They're going to have to stay with that big lineup, keep their bench short, and try to, hang in there fatigue-wise.
And Exel faking the pass with 7 on the shot clock, under 4 minutes to go in the half. And Nowitzki pump fake. And the long rebound into the hands of Damon Stoudemire, and a 3-on-2. Stoudemire missing, and another long rebound, this time Nash. So the Mavericks go the other way. Open is Van Exel, and he comes up empty on the 3-point attempt. Knocked away last touched by the Mavericks. End-to-end, helter-skelter style, a lot of 3s being hoisted up to no avail as the Mavericks lead by 1.
That's a shot the Mavericks like in transition. The open spot up 3. Nowitzki did a great job playing unselfish basketball, hit Van Exel right on time and on target. Van Exel just missed the shot, but excellent offense.
And here's Wallace with the turnaround. Rasheed Wallace now with 8 points. So Wells leads with 9. Randolph and Wallace each have 8. And the Trailblazers regain the lead. Nearly 3 minutes to go.
At the risk of being redundant, give it to Rasheed in the post every time down the floor.
No basket, the foul before the shot. And you know what? I think you could risk being redundant, because isn't that what coaches do? Keep hammering away.
Exactly.
And you are hammering away tonight.
I think players sometimes forget who the best player on the floor is for your team. And Rasheed is such an unselfish player. If you throw it to him in the post and he's doubled, he'll give it up.
Sean Bradley in and Adrian Griffin going out. And here's Nash, stop and go. Here's Nowitzki, way off, and Randolph getting another rebound. So Portland has weathered that last storm by the Mavericks. Very tough when you're down 3-0. You are playing at home, but it's a long haul, and a 3 by Wells. Bonzi Wells with his second from downtown has 12 points, and the Trailblazers leading now by 4. And Nowitzki driving in, very tough to stop that.
Again, Rasheed Wallace is giving help on the pick and roll. They're throwing it back to Nowitzki, and the help rotation is late. That time Bonzi Wells was late in his help.
Trailblazers had scored 7 before Nowitzki's lay-in. And now the pushing foul called against LaFrentz, his 3rd.
Here against Dallas's 2-3 zone, 1 pass to the corner, and Wells hit a tremendous 3 in there. Again, slow rotation on the pick and roll. Nowitzki drove it to his right and finished up over the top of Dale Davis. Well, I think what happened was they got their confidence with that road win. Tony Parker came back with a huge game 3. And if they have someone who can complement Duncan, who's not scoring a lot in this series because he's being double-teamed so frequently, if they can get Parker or Steven Jackson, those guys to contribute offensively consistently, they'll win the series because of the size and strength inside.
Wells, defended by Van Exel, going out to Stoudemire for 3. And Bradley with the rebound, doesn't have to get up much at 7'6". 2 minutes, 10 seconds to go here in the first half. Trailblazers lead the Mavericks 45-43. Mavericks trying to sweep Portland in the series on the road and get ready for round 2 as Nowitzki fouled by Wells in the act of shooting. 6 was on the shot clock. And that is the penalty situation for Portland in any event. And Nowitzki will shoot 2.
15 foul penalty. Nowitzki at the line shooting 2.
Nowitzki could collect 20 points if he makes both free throws. Want to remind you, coming up on the Verizon Wireless Halftime Report, Ernie Johnson, Mario Elie, and a very angry Kenny Smith, we understand. Scores and highlights and interviews from the 3 early games coming your way on the Verizon Halftime coming up. So 20 points in the first half. And who said Nowitzki couldn't carry this team again? He's doing it scoring-wise.
When the whole defense is geared to stopping you and you still get off like Nowitzki's getting off, that's when you know you are a great, great offensive force.
Been a one-man show offensively. 4 on the shot clock, and getting a piece of it was Van Exel on the pass from Stoudemire. So the turnover giving Dallas an opportunity to regain the lead. 1.5 minutes to go here in the first half at the Rose Garden Arena. And Nowitzki, no basket if it goes, and the foul will send him to the free throw line.
Dick, here's the problem with having to play Nowitzki and Nash in that pick and roll. You're Dale Davis there, you're guarding Nowitzki in transition. There's a pick and roll. You've got to give help on Nash, and then the ball's thrown back to Nowitzki. If you close out slow, he's shooting a 3. If you close hard, he's showing you a shot fake. You react a little bit, he puts it on the floor and either creates a shot or a foul. It's almost impossible to guard it where you're helping on the pick and roll and getting back to Nowitzki. You may need some rotation to Nowitzki so Davis doesn't feel like, or Rasheed Wallace doesn't feel he has to do both.
Well, can Nowitzki just beat any defense you put at him? Is that basically it? Or is Portland, not saying, well, let's stop the one guy that's hurting us, let the others beat us?
Well, I think because they surround Nowitzki with so much shooting and scoring, any pick and roll defense is difficult. I would keep right now a body on Nowitzki and make other people help and then make other people make shots.
Well, Nowitzki has scored the last 9 Maverick points until now, when Sean Bradley on a sweeping hook, giving the Mavericks a 4-point lead, less than a minute remaining, as Dallas outscoring the Trailblazers 8-0 during this current run. Couldn't come at a better time for them in the final stages of the first half. Zach Randolph trying to go in against Bradley, and finally Davis does. So Bradley at 7-6 could not stop Davis on the second effort, and it's a 2-point game again.
In this critical last 40 seconds, Portland's got to stay close. Hopefully be tied or go ahead, not be playing from a deficit starting the second half.
And Bradley wide open. And here comes Randolph with a half a minute to go. The Mavericks still have a foul to give. 6-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. And Stoudemire setting it up. No indication that foul is coming. Here is Wallace short on the 3-point attempt. And Davis getting the rebound. And he is fouled. And it'll be side out of bounds.
Again, a very good drive by Randolph. Brought Bradley to the shot, and then Davis, because Bradley had left to go help, offensive rebound. And the only way you finish against that type of size is to put it down right on top of Bradley, which Dale Davis did.
8.6 seconds remain in the first half. The Mavericks leading by 2, and they're going to have to defend as Portland with an opportunity to tie the score or with a 3 take the lead at intermission.
I've been impressed with both teams' mentality today. Portland came out and fought hard right from the opening tab. Dallas could have sensed that they had a cushion. They could just give this game away and win it at home in Game 5. Have come out, been ready to play, played extremely well, smart basketball. And if this is a close game down the stretch, you've got to love Dallas because of the confidence they have, and Nowitzki is such a good offensive player.
Well, Walt Williams has come in the game for the first time, and Don Nelson doesn't want to risk any fouls to his star players. So Raja Bell, Van Exel, Walt Williams, Bradley, and Adrian Griffin are in there. Stoudemire will inbound with 8.6 seconds remaining. Remember, Portland had a 10-point lead in Game 1 at halftime and ended up losing. Here's Wells settling for 3 and hitting. And the Trailblazers, that's a 2-point basket. He was on the line, and Van Exel with a last-ditch effort, and it counts. It's a 3 by Nick Van Exel. So Wells gets a 2 because his foot was on the line, and Van Exel hits a 3 at the buzzer. And look at the happy bench of the Dallas Mavericks. High fives all around. And Dirk Nowitzki with 22 first-half points. And right now, Mo Cheeks is saying, let's take a look at that replay to see whether he got the shot off in time. Dan Crawford there. Let's see it.
Well, he definitely got the shot up, but I believe Van Exel traveled. Well, maybe not. That's a close call. Maybe traveled before he released it, but certainly got it off in time. And what a momentum killer for Portland, and what a great boost for Dallas.
You thought they might have the 3 to take the lead. It was a 2 to tie, and then all of a sudden Nick Van Exel hits the 3 to give the Mavericks a 3-point lead at intermission. Here is that last shot again by Van Exel, who has 10 points, including 2 threes at intermission. Talk about a bench for the Dallas Mavericks. So the basket is good. Let's send it over to Craig Sager with Dirk Nowitzki. Craig.
Well, Dirk, Portland plays their best defense of this series, yet you still have 22 points, and you guys have over 50 at the half. How is this offense able to score like this?
I think we have a lot of option on offensive end. We're swinging the ball. We're not forcing anything. We're moving the ball around, and we're just all having a hot hand, and it's, if we move the ball offense, we're in good shape.
What does a shot like that by Ben Exel just before the half do for momentum?
It's great. We're right where we want to be at half. We're up. It doesn't matter. Once we're close, we just didn't want to get blown out. We want to be around the whole game, and then at the end, we'll see what happens.
Thanks a lot. Let's go back to Dick.
Well, I don't know if the Mavericks have to worry about getting blown out, but Nowitzki, who had 16 in the fourth quarter in Game 3, had 17 in this quarter for the leading 22 points. So at halftime, the Mavericks trying to close out the Blazers, lead 52-49 right now. Let's send it to our Atlanta studios. Ernie Johnson, Mario Elie, and Kenny Smith. It's taken someone like that to keep them in this situation they were and stable as we look at our Jeep game summary. And Dallas with the shooting edge lead, and there is the rest. And once again, that Dallas bench getting the job done. Of course, it is a deeper bench with all the injuries.
And Portland has to really make a push, I feel, right now. Come out with greater intensity, catch Dallas, put them back on their heels with, play from ahead with a little cushion instead of, you know, that 1 point cushion they had going into the fourth. They need a little cushion going down the stretch tonight.
Damon Stoudemire with Bonzi Wells, Rasheed Wallace, Dale Davis, and Zach Randolph for the Trailblazers. Nash, Finley, LaFrentz, Bradley, and Nowitzki for the Mavericks. And Wallace trying to drive around. Bradley coming over to help, and the foul is called. So that will be on Bradley, his third personal foul. With all of the good way that Portland is playing in this game, the improvement, the fact is that they're trailing. This is really an uphill climb for them, isn't it?
It really is, and I think the really underlying story is how underappreciated this Dallas team is. They came into this series, people were talking about an upset by Portland. People were saying they don't have enough defense, they don't have enough rebounding, they don't have enough inside strength. They've been focusing on all the problems as there's Coach Pippen on the sideline. They've been focusing, their critics have been focusing on all their weaknesses instead of all their strengths. And their strengths are they can score with any team in the league. They have good size. They're more committed this year to the defensive end of the floor. I think they have a chance to keep advancing past Sacramento if Sacramento gets there as well.
Well, the Mavericks started 14-0, and they were the lead dog for most of the year, and then they fell down toward the end of the season. And now trying to regain their footing, and Sacramento looking very good and opening up a 2-1 lead over the Utah Jazz. So there could be a huge confrontation between these teams. Bonzi Wells picking up his third foul. Wells the leading scorer for the Trailblazers at 14 points in the first half. Nowitzki had 22, and he takes his first shot and hits here in the third quarter, and again a 3-point lead. Van Exel with 10 off the bench for the Dallas Mavericks. Stoudemire defended by Nash. Bradley trying to deny Wallace. Here's Bonzi Wells. He's been hot from the field, including from threes, driving in. Very effective going to the basket and drawing another personal foul. And that'll be on Bradley. He picks up 2 quick ones here in the third.
What I like about Portland's attack versus the zone right now is they're not settling and just playing side to side. They're attacking with hard dribble penetration. You first saw Wallace drive at baseline hard and show his versatility, got fouled, and then Wells showing his dribble penetration ability, putting Bradley to the bench, which is a huge foul because their zone, Dallas's is not nearly effective without Bradley protecting the basket.
So Wells with great energy and a terrific defensive player, great anticipation. Misses the first free throw. Major League Baseball action returns to TBS Tuesday night at 8 p.m. as the Atlanta Braves take on the Houston Astros. And as always, Aaron Andrews will keep you up to date around the league from TBS Sports Control. And Kevin Millwood with a no-hitter today for the Philadelphia Phillies against the Giants 1-0.
Against that lineup, throwing a no-hitter, that's an incredible feat. The Braves wish they had him back, I'm sure, right about now. And
he got the 1 run. He was staked to the lead in the first inning, so he had to hold him from the first inning on. Here is Nash. Hasn't done much tonight, scoreless in this game. And they're going to call Rasheed Wallace with his third personal foul. Wallace with 3 fouls. He has 10 points in the game. Wells also with 3. Mavericks up by 2, trying to close out the Trailblazers. And Nash throwing the ball away. Turnover. So Nash, third turnover of the game. And he has struggled so far tonight, but the Mavericks are in front in this game, and Nowitzki getting the job done.
That was better pick and roll defense because they did not leave Nowitzki's body. They made Nash play to the weak side of the floor.
Wallace in and out on his three-point attempt. Mavericks by 2 with the ball. Dallas had the best NBA road record in the NBA, again for the second straight year, 27 wins and only 14 losses, so they have been very consistent on the road, and that's going to be a foul, 3-second violation against the Dallas Mavericks.
Again, better pick and roll defense. They made Dallas make the second and third pass instead of leading it in Nowitzki's hands to either take the shot or make a dribble penetration move.
Jeff, is this still a 2-3 that they're playing?
Well, they're matching up. The initial form is 2-3, and then it's varying depending on Portland's alignment. But what I think Portland needs to get back to is more cutting. In the first half, they got better shots against the zone because they were cutting, making it more difficult for Dallas to match up.
Here's Finley open for the 3. Wallace getting the rebound. So both teams cold from the field here early in this third quarter. Almost 2.5 minutes have gone by as Wallace getting it down to Zach Randolph. Nowitzki all over him. 7 on the shot clock. Wells again driving and coming up short. Battle for the loose ball with Davis. Tries to save it off of Nahara and cannot do it. So the Mavericks will get the ball back. The cold shooting for the Mavericks, 1 for 2. They've only attempted 2, but the Trailblazers 0 for 4. From the field.
Both teams are lacking a little bit of offensive energy right now, not as crisp as the second quarter.
LaFrentz trying to set the screen for Nash, getting the pass down low, and the bank shot misses. Rebound by Zach Randolph. 3 minutes have gone by, and it is still a 54-52 lead for Dallas. Trying to end this series in 4 straight, and good drive in by Zach Randolph. Very tough Randolph with 10 points in the game after establishing a playoff career high in the previous game.
Damon Stoudemire, excellent pick and roll player in his own right. Made a nice penetration and dish to Randolph.
And speaking of anticipating on defense, Wells did it there. And here is Wallace for 3. And the Trailblazers, Jeff, are more than holding their own in the three-point battle with the Mavericks tonight.
Exactly. And they're getting great production to start the second half from Wallace. Wallace has great versatility. Here, the pick and roll against the zone. Stoudemire comes off. Great look-away pass to Randolph with an excellent finish. And then in transition, Wallace, not like many big guys, stepping behind the line for the 3. Up 3. To the Dallas shooters, and now they have to be aware of Dallas making the adjustment of showing the shot fake and dribble penetrating. So they've got to do both against Dallas. Take away the 3 and take away the penetration.
And Nick Van Exel into the Dallas lineup, bringing up the ball. He had 10 points and 6 assists in the first half. Rafe LaFrentz missing the 3-point attempt. Adrian Griffin battling Zach Randolph or Rasheed Wallace for the loose ball. And here's Stoudemire. Neither team has been able to open up more than a 6-point lead in this game. Mavericks had it early. Portland later in the first quarter. Open is Randolph and Zach Randolph. And an 8-0 Portland run. And they lead by 5.
And Don Nelson at that timeout did not waste any time shuffling his lineup. Van Exel and Griffin in, as well as Nahara for Bradley earlier. So he's not waiting on his starters to play well. He's going right to his bench.
Again, Rafe LaFrentz from the point, and the offensive rebound taken down by Van Exel. Trying to run Stoudemire into a screen, the runner, and Portland again doing a good job. 7:20 to go. Wells handing off in the corner, and the perimeter shot by Dale Davis doesn't make it. Van Exel tries the bounce pass, and it's knocked out of bounds. Dallas scoreless in the last 4 minutes and 8 seconds.
There's a long baseball pass by Van Exel. Stoudemire was caught not back in transition. But what you see is a hustling Portland team in transition. You can tell by a team's transition defense the type of character they have on their team. That time, very good effort by Portland back in transition to prevent what should have been a layup.
And Nowitzki in the lane pulls up and hits. How do you stop Dirk Nowitzki with all of the moves he has and the spins and the fakes and the shots from everywhere?
Right there, that was great defense by Wallace, better offense by Nowitzki. Those aren't the ones that kill you. It's the open looks, the missed assignments that Maurice Cheeks was talking about earlier that really kill you.
26 for Nowitzki, and he's doing a job on Zach Randolph right now underneath, and the rebound by Griffin. Griffin in the lane, and Adrian Griffin with the basket. He has made the long trip, undrafted player, CBA, played in Italy, spent time with Boston, signed by Dallas as a free agent, started 48 games, mostly because of his defense.
Don Nelson has always loved the CBA-type players to round out his team. Griffin, Raja Bell, those players always have a place on a Don Nelson-type team. This is just a great individual one-on-one move and terrific defense. Great stance by Wallace, good balance. Nowitzki, again, stronger to his left than his right. Stopped on a dime. Wallace had to give some ground. He's just a very good pull-up jump shooter.
Rafe LaFrance with his 4th personal foul. He and Sean Bradley fouled out of game number 2. Dallas won nonetheless by 4 points, 103-99. And now they have switched it over to Nowitzki. So LaFrance still with 3. Nowitzki picks up his 2nd. And Damon Stoudemire on the free throw line.
You just saw a shot of Rasheed Wallace talking to the official. That's good player-referee communication. Wallace is making his point, doing it in a respectful manner, and Jimmy Clark listening, giving his point of view. If you look at this game tonight, not one incident out of control. Great job by Monty McCutcheon, Jimmy Clark, and Danny Crawford, keeping control of the game, but also letting the players play.
And consistent on both ends.
Absolutely. Very well officiated game tonight.
3-point lead for the Trailblazers halfway through this 3rd quarter. Wallace defending Nowitzki as best you can defend Dirk Nowitzki, and this time LaFrance getting the offensive rebound knocked away, and the Trailblazers, who had a 5-point lead here in this 3rd quarter, trying to establish that again. Randolph defended by Naharad. Good pass into Davis, who's fouled by LaFrance, and now he has 4.
Very good transition pick and roll. Stoudemire came off of it, broke the pick and roll, threw it back to Randolph, and then high-low. Good seal by Dale Davis. Excellent pass by Randolph. That's good offensive basketball in transition. You don't always have to score off the initial push. It can be a secondary type of action, like a pick and roll that we just saw. That's how you can score before the defense gets set.
Davis is 6 for 10 from the free throw line. And once again, the Trailblazers in a position to establish a 5-point lead. 6 has been the biggest margin for both clubs. 5:38 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Portland Trailblazers trying to avoid losing their 11th consecutive playoff game, which would tie an NBA record established first by the Baltimore Bullets and later by the Denver Nuggets.
How that one quarter back in 2000 when they lost that lead in the 4th has transformed the Lakers into a dynasty, and the Trailblazers put them into a little bit of a quandary of what to do with their team. If they had held on and won that game, they would have won the World Championship, and who knows what would have happened from that point on.
They lost in 7 and then was swept by the Lakers in the 2 years after that, so they have been knocked out by the Lakers actually 5 of the last 6 years. They don't want to be knocked out by the Mavericks. It's going to be tough. Randolph with the air ball really misfired to a great degree. Here is Nowitzki feeding Nahara on the baseline, cut off. leaving Griffin. Nowitzki fighting for the offensive rebound. He's all over the floor, but here comes a 2-on-2, and the trailer driving is Bonzi Wells, and he's fouled. This is Portland Trail Blazers basketball the way they like to play it.
Exactly. Push it up in transition. A very good decision by Stoudemire to bypass Wallace, hit the trailer, Bonzi Wells coming in after that. If Rasheed Wallace does not run hard, Bonzi Wells is not open as the trailer. That's unselfish basketball. That's stuff you cannot quantify with statistics. It's just playing for each other and with each other.
Griffin with the foul, and Wells misses. And Finley back into the game. Finley scoring 3 points on 1-for-4 shooting. That was a 3-point basket in the first half.
And it's very difficult to overcome these missed free throws. Portland's already missed 9 opportunities at the line. In such close games, you just have to be that much better by missing this many free throws. So Portland's got to find a way to start knocking in 2 at a time.
17 of 26 from the line. The Mavericks have only gone to the line 9 times. And Nowitzki loses the ball trying to drive in, so yet another turnover. So the Mavericks went 14 minutes without committing a turnover, and now a flurry of them, 4 here in this quarter. Open up the biggest lead of the game here. Nahara posted up by Davis, and Randolph on the drive, and the biggest lead of the game. And the Trailblazers trying to stay alive here at the Rose Garden Arena, leading 65-58.
Great weak side cut by Randolph. Dale Davis took his time in the low post, caught it, set, and then found the cutting, slicing Zach Randolph.
And Nowitzki pulling up against Rasheed Wallace, and the Trailblazers up by 7. They're on a roll now with under 4 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Third quarter was their undoing in game 1 when they scored only 12 points. Here is Wells. He's got the shot, and high rebound snared by Nowitzki. Van Exel going around Wells. Nick Van Exel putting it up. Wallace with yet another rebound.
And this is an excellent timeout by Maurice Cheeks. They've got a good run going. Wallace could be a little bit tired. They know that they make that next push, it's the cushion they need going into the fourth.
A 14-4 run by the Portland Trailblazers at home with 3:23 left in the third. To take a 3-1 lead at Phoenix, and matched up in the same part of the draw with the Lakers and the Timberwolves, and the Lakers getting all they can handle from Minnesota, obviously, in this series.
I've been very impressed with Minnesota. Not nearly as talented from a Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal perspective. Garnett doesn't have that second wheel like Kobe Bryant, but playing unselfish, very well coached, and playing with urgency. And I think they have a chance to win that series now. It'd be a great thing for Flip Saunders and the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Wallace looking inside for Zach Randolph. He's been the lone hot hand for the Trailblazers, and the offensive rebound by Randolph scores. Zach Randolph 4 for 5 shooting in the third quarter. The rest of the team is only 1 for 8. So there's that man Zach again. He has 16 in the game.
He's small for a power forward in this league, but he has a knack for finishing plays around the basket. Great touch, great instincts to score the basketball.
So the lead is 9, biggest lead for the Trailblazers with 2:40 to go. Turnover, and here is Stoudemire. Van Exel back to defend, and Stoudemire gets the basket. And the foul by Van Exel, and the first double-digit lead of the game by the home-standing Portland Trailblazers.
This is the type of defense that the Portland Trailblazers are capable of if they play with maximum intensity. And then it leads, as we see here with Stoudemire, it leads to transition opportunities. So the defense has to be first, and then the transition. You can't be a good transition team without playing outstanding defense.
You know, in hockey, they have the stats when players are in plus-minus. When Randolph has been in for the Trailblazers, they are a +17. When he's out, they're a -5. Pretty impressive.
We used to use that stat as well, Dick, and it's a very telling stat of who helps make you win and who is just a stat player.
But you weren't coach of the Rangers, were you?
Some nights The Knicks fans probably wish I was.
Well, I think they remember better times when you were on the bench with them as we get close to the 2-minute point here in the third quarter. 70 to 58, the lead is 12. Stoudemire underneath to Davis, and the basket is good and a foul. Davis got hit in the head on the foul, and he is down.
Looks like he took a shot to the eye, maybe.
He might have bumped heads with Nahara, who's also holding on to his forehead.
A very good play by Stoudemire to penetrate. Yep, got slapped right there in the face.
It was Nahara and Dale Davis. And a 20-second timeout signaled by Portland.
That's a tough hit to take. He finished it. Hopefully, Davis can stay in the game. He needs to shoot this free throw. If he can't shoot the free throw, then he's out of the game for the rest of the game. So it's very important that he be able to step up and take this free throw, and then they can substitute for him. And there's Zach Randolph just playing a very good game around the basket. Little layup, then he shows his 15-foot range, and then the cut away from the ball and the dunk.
And a career playoff high, 16 points. He has 9 rebounds as well. Damon Stoudemire, meanwhile, with 9 assists. Dale Davis walking off on his own power.
And Dick, sometimes you see when a player like Sabonis goes out, it opens up a void and minutes for Zach Randolph, and then that player take advantage of it and be productive. Sometimes less is more. I think particularly with Portland's roster, they need to clean it up and know a set rotation. I think it's paying dividends for them tonight.
2 minutes remaining, 72 to 58 in favor of the Portland Trail Blazers.
We see Sports Illustrated here with the #1 pick, Carson Palmer, and
Q&A with Marv Albert.
Little Marv Albert Q&A, and
and a question.
Dick Stockton insists he was a year behind you at Syracuse, but according to your bio, he's somehow several years older than you. Have you found a secret for maintaining youth? And he says,
when you get older, there are memory lapses, and Dick has probably suffered more than anyone I know. Well, I don't remember how old Marv is.
Well, Dick, I'll tell you, my sources, and I put it on my sources to find out, have seen Mark at the Social Security office collecting checks. So I don't know what the age is for that, but to be old enough to collect Social Security is a very telling hint.
Jeff, you are not going to be welcome back to that team. I want you to know that. Marv is going to put his foot down.
Oh, they have been killing me.
He's going to be.
I'm the only team player in that group, and when I'm gone, they've just been letting me have it.
Oh, I hate to see it when you go back to that group later on in the playoffs, but
it's a very me-first team.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what.
And I think, you know, it's not really Marv. It's really Fratello rubbing off on Marv. He's such an irritant, such an agitator, that they need me back to balance out Mike Fratello.
And Marv and Mike will do the 76ers and Hornets tomorrow. I thought that was a great answer to that question in Sports Illustrated, by the way, which points up Marv's sense of humor, which we know is exemplary.
Exactly, and very politically correct, not giving up his true age, whatever it may be, or yours for that matter.
Oh, thank you very much. And I don't know whether Marv can spell exemplary, but that's what it is Davis is back in there and going to the free throw line. 28 minutes, so he is playing a lot tonight. You know, despite the fact that Scottie Pippen and Derek Anderson out of action with knee injuries, perhaps for the rest of the series, Arvydas Sabonis suffering back spasms, so he could not dress as Ruben Patterson checks back in the game. And the Trailblazers, after the foul by Stoudemire, have outscored the Mavericks 22-4 in the last nearly 9.5 minutes.
Came out of the locker room with greater intensity and greater energy, great desperation.
Davis going to the locker room as Wallace getting the rebound, and the loose ball foul called against Dallas's Steve Nash. Nash has come up empty tonight. He has not scored, averaging nearly 17 points in this series, including a spectacular Game 2. So it's the penalty for the Mavericks, and they went in with about 5 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Nash 0 for 4 from the field and 4 turnovers. And Wallace on the free throw line. He has 13 points in the game, including a three-pointer here in the third quarter. NBA.com has compiled 10 of the best shots in NBA playoff history. Log on to see the candidates and vote for the best shot on NBA.com or America Online, keyword NBA.com.
If you look at Portland's bench, it is a thin bench. 3 perimeter players: Antonio Daniels, Jeff McInnes, and Quintel Woods. There could be no foul trouble, no other injuries to big guys for Portland. They have no one left.
How about this? The Trailblazers outscoring the Mavs 11-0 from the free throw line in the third quarter. Not because Dallas has missed. They just haven't had an attempt. Here's Nowitzki guarded by Patterson with the fall away. And Wallace getting the rebound. 5 rebounds for Wallace in what is right now an inspired Trailblazer effort at home, trying to stay alive.
This is a great response by Portland. Great effort, great intensity.
Bumping foul on Sean Bradley. That'll be 5 on him. And again, Jeff, as you pointed out, another testament to Maurice Cheeks and his leadership going against Don Nelson's Mavericks, playing extremely well at both ends, taking the 3-0 lead. A lot of teams would just say, you know, what's the use? We win a game like this, we have to go on the road the next game.
But a lot of teams would not want to have to travel again. Somehow Maurice convinced his group to play with this energy and intensity. And the guy I've been very impressed with that's sort of flying under the radar screen, I think Damon Stoudemire has really run the team extremely well tonight. And again, it shows you when you know you're going to get consistent minutes, you'll play well.
18 for Zach Randolph and a 26-4 run against Don Nelson's team, and a technical foul has been called against Don Nelson. He had a technical foul in the last game, and he had one in game 1 as well. Stoudemire, and we pointed it up in the last game how Stoudemire was the starting point guard. The team went 6-9. Scottie Pippen was installed. Stoudemire kept his head above water. Started late in the year, but Pippen went out with a knee injury. It's a good thing that he has stayed steady.
That's right. He worked, he stayed professional, and that's what you need from your players when decisions go against them.
1 minute remaining in the third quarter. Nowitzki over Patterson. He's gone cold in this third quarter, has Dirk Nowitzki from the field. He has missed his last 4. 20-point lead for Portland. And Stoudemire leaving it for Randolph, slams it through. Zach Randolph now with 20 points in the game, 80-58. And who could have anticipated this, Jeff?
And another great decision by Damon Stoudemire off the dribble, finding Zach Randolph along the baseline.
And a 21-0 run ended by Nick Van Exel, 80-60. So talk about turning points in the game. The last few minutes of this third quarter, it is a 20-point Portland lead as Van Exel ends a 21-0 streak. 6 on the shot clock. Stoudemire hitting another one. Boy, this is the most confidence we've seen the Trailblazers have throughout the series.
When you play hard like they are defensively, you can gain confidence on the offensive end.
And a foul with 3.4 on the clock. Van Exel will shoot a pair with the Trailblazers leading 82-60. Foul is on Zach Randolph. Dale Davis went into the locker room after being hit in a collision with Nahara, back on the bench for the Trailblazers.
And Nick Van Exel has one of the most unique free throw shots in the NBA. He stands back from the line a good 2 feet to make what would be a 15-footer, a 17 to 18-footer. And I'm not quite sure why he would do that, but it's proven successful for him.
As it was on that last free throw, the lead is 20. So Raja Bell replaced Steve Nash, and Patterson missing as the Trailblazers outscore the Dallas Mavericks 33-10 in the third quarter, and Zach Randolph with 12 of his 20 points. A big quarter for Zach Randolph, and he has been the igniter for this team tonight. So after 3 quarters, the Portland Trailblazers trying to finally win one, as Maurice Cheeks said, leading by 20.
The Dallas Mavericks scored just 10 points in the quarter, their lowest scoring quarter, not only in this series, but in playoff history. I checked with Roger Hines, the trainer for the Dallas Mavericks, about Michael Finley, who's played just 18 minutes, just 1 for 6. He said he has the flu. He was treated last night for flu-like symptoms. He does not feel himself. As a result, the Portland Trailblazers have found it's much easier to guard 2 guys, and it is 3.
It sure is, Craig. And then on top of that, Steve Nash, 0 points. And in fact, in that third quarter, 4 for 19 shooting by the Mavericks. They turned it over 5 times. And right now they are totally out of this game.
And Don Nelson made the decision to go with his bench, see if his bench can get back into the game. If they can get back into it, maybe then he'll put his starters back in. If not, you'll see a lot of his reserves the rest of the way.
Trying to go to Evan Eschmeyer, and it's knocked out of bounds. So Eschmeyer with Raja Bell, Nick Van Exel, Sean Bradley, and into the bench you see Dirk Nowitzki, who has 26 points, sitting down here to start. Walt Williams, the other Dallas Maverick in the lineup. Wells, Stoudemire with Ruben Patterson. Zach Randolph hitting, still hot, and Rasheed Wallace, 22 for Zach Randolph. And remember, Mo Cheeks decided to make the move to start Wells in the backcourt and Zach Randolph up front, and it paid off.
It's paid huge dividends. He got more size on the floor, and he can make that move because of Rasheed Wallace's versatility. Like Nowitzki, he can slide between playing the 3 and the 4, so he gives them many of the same things Wallace said is that Nowitzki does.
So the third quarter, opening up this huge lead, and you see what happened is a total domination by the Trailblazers. Tariq Abdul-Wahid into the game for the first time in this playoff as Van Exel with a spinning shot. He has 16. He's been one of the bright spots, few bright spots for the Mavericks.
And I can bet that this Dallas unit, these 5 guys have never played together before in a game this year.
Here's Wells for 3. And here is Raja Bell. Had a great playoff with the 76ers against the Lakers a couple of years ago. Came out of nowhere. Walt Williams from the 3-point territory comes up empty. Minute and a half gone by, and the Trailblazers lead by 20. Here's Wallace for 3, and he hits. Second 3-point basket of the game for Rasheed Wallace, and he has 18 to match his season's average and his numbers in this series.
What versatility. Can post, can rebound, can shoot the 3, can defend best players on the perimeter in the post. He's got a complete game.
And the 23-point lead, the largest of the game for the Trailblazers. Van Exel getting his own rebound, and that'll go through. So Nick Van Exel now with 18. And what looks to be Eschmeyer called for the technical foul. Evan Eschmeyer, former New Jersey Net in his 4th year from Northwestern, hit with a technical foul. Don Nelson called for the technical late in the third quarter. And now Jim Clark wants to huddle up with the officials. Stoudemire will go to the line. Hard to believe, with all of the scoring power like Nowitzki and company, that Nick Van Exel is the only Dallas player to score in the last 8.5 minutes of play.
It is. Finley's been ineffective, and maybe because of the flu-like symptoms, but don't you either have the flu or not have the flu? What is flu-like? Some of the symptoms of the flu, but not the whole bag? Or I don't understand.
Well,
that.
It allows you to use the hyphen. See, when you say flu-like, you can put the hyphen in there and say flu-like. You know.
Why not ever cold-like symptoms or
headache-like symptoms?
Right. It's either the flu or not. Commit.
Well, I think that next time the AMA meets, American Medical Association, I'd like you to lecture.
I'm their
them
guy. I'm
and
their
ask them,
guy. That's right.
Why is it called blue light? Very good point you made. 10 on the shot clock. Here's Rasheed Wallace. And the tip attempt by Randolph. Eschmeyer outlets to Van Exel. He's got Bell and nearly lost control and called for the carry. So another Dallas turnover. And there is Finley back in the game, so maybe they were just semi-flu symptoms.
Well, what I like about this move of getting Finley back in there with his flu or flu-like symptoms is that he's really struggled. Maybe this garbage time, the last 9:30, he can make a couple shots to get him some confidence going forward for Game 5.
Randolph looking for help with 9 on the shot clock, and he has Wells, no basket, the foul before the shot. As Wells fouled by Raja Bell, his first. Talked about Finley's struggles and Steve Nash. Those two combined are 1 for 10 from the field tonight.
And the Mavericks obviously are not going to win many games, no matter how great Nowitzki is, when he does not get complimentary help. He needs those guys to play well for him to have a chance.
Yeah, he can only carry him so long and so far. And Bell commits another foul against Wells.
Again, Bell's trying to get around in front, being very physical, very active. Not much of a foul, but I think coming off the technical on Eschmeyer, referees 22-point deficit for the Mavericks want to make sure this game stays under the great control it's been in all game.
Officials really done a terrific job, and Wallace banks it in. 20 now for Rasheed Wallace. And 90-66, and another standard set, the biggest lead of the game. Turnover by the Mavericks. Blazers will get it back. And what can Don Nelson do? Well, it's a good thing for him. He's got a 3-0 lead coming in and maybe 3-1.
And here's Wallace with his great length, just going up and over the Dallas defense, banking it in, and he wanted an and one. I think Marbury speaks for all NBA teams. I think you've seen it with so many teams, the Lakers being the biggest offender at times, trying to turn it on and turn it off. You have to play every night, every possession, knowing that you'll have some bad games, but you've got to come with the intent to play the right way every night out.
Jeff, so far the Lakers have been able to get away with that in the regular season and the playoffs, and we'll see if that continues. Bonzi Wells, rebound, taken down by Walt Williams. 90-66, and the turnover, and let's see if Wells got shaken up and he hurt his leg up against the scorer's table on the left side. So all of a sudden it's a battle of attrition going on with both teams here.
Wells, good anticipation, and then trying to run that tightrope. Somehow hurt his knee. Boy, Portland, when it rains and pours injury-wise, they can't afford another injury.
Well, you know they lost Arvydas Sabonis with back spasms, didn't play tonight. Scottie Pippen out with the sore knee. Derek Anderson had arthroscopic knee surgery for cartilage, and there's a lot of smiles over there on the Portland side, so it looks like just a tape job over there for Bonzi Wells. And then let us not forget the flu-like symptoms suffered by Michael Finley before he came back.
Oh, absolutely. And you look at it, Portland's playing a lot of Ironmen out there tonight. Big minutes for the starters for Portland.
There you see the story when a team has had 3-0 leads in series in the NBA, 37 sweeps. What is really amazing is that only 2 went as far as 7, 5 to 6 games. So most of those, when they're not sweeps, end in a hurry in 5 games. And the Mavericks will be going home Wednesday for the next game.
Dick, you know why that is, I think? That no one has come back from 3-0 is to get up 3-0. You got to be a lot better than your opponent. So I think that's a good indicator of, in a playoff series, who the better team is. Yet Portland has got talent. And if they can just stay focused on the defensive end of the floor and let their offense come from their defense, I think they have a chance to keep it close in Dallas and hopefully steal a road win.
Even without Pippen and Anderson.
I do. That's where their duplication of positions helps them, that they can have a Stoudemire come in and play well, that they can have Antonio Daniels and McGinnis on the bench. I think when everybody's healthy for Portland, it leads to nothing but disharmony, having all those players who think and expect to be starting and playing a major role.
Well, Don Nelson has seen what his bench could do, but the Trailblazers have really only 4 points in their bench tonight because of the great play of Zach Randolph. All 5 starters in double figures. Here's Randolph again. He's having a terrific game. That was not one he wants to keep in the highlight film. He throws up the air ball. Finley maintains control. 7 minutes to go, and Randolph committing the personal, and that will be 4 on Zach Randolph, who, by the way, has 13 rebounds to go along with his 22 points.
Zach needs to right now, though, play good, solid basketball. He's had a great game so far, but now people are starting to double him, and he's shooting the ball over and through double teams. Hit the open man, make the right play.
Hit the open man. I've heard that before somewhere.
Yeah, a few coaches have probably used that in their time.
Tapped out to Bell. And a new clock. Here is Walt Williams hitting the 3. Walt Williams with a 3-point basket. Not much from that territory by Dallas. 11th year for Williams, originally with the Sacramento Kings. There, the 3-point shooting. Each team has clicked on 5, which is a big improvement for the Trailblazers. Stoudemire with a good feed to Randolph, who's fouled underneath by Edgemont. Well, it's going to be the pictures tell 1,000 words. Mark Cuban, the owner of the Mavericks, normally ebullient, smiling and happy.
That's what happens when you win 60 today. On the other side of the ledger with the loss, but Mark Cuban single-handedly with his enthusiasm started to chart a new course for the Mavericks once he became the sole owner, and along with Don Nelson has really turned it around for Dallas. Just a couple years ago they were the laughing stock of the league, like 4 or 5 years ago, and now led the league in victories this year with 60 along with San Antonio.
Sold out every game.
Great arena, tremendous arena. He does everything with great enthusiasm, great passion, and always has the fans' interest at heart.
And if the Blazers go on and win, there will be a Game 5 Wednesday in Dallas. Randolph tried to get the pass out. It was intercepted, and Finley with the rebound. And Bill ahead with his first points of the game. 91-71. Trailblazers are leading as Don Nelson resting 2 of his big 3. Michael Finley is in there, but Steve Nash, who has not scored, and Dirk Nowitzki, who has 26, getting some rest here. And all 5 starters for the Trailblazers in double figures. Eschmeyer picks up the loose ball. Bell to a feeding Eschmeyer. Knocked away. Trailblazers were 50-32 this year, and they made their big run once Scottie Pippen was installed as the playmaker for Mo Cheeks. Then he had the knee injuries late in the year, missed 17 games. Stoudemire foul going in, and now they have to go back to Stoudemire. Scottie on the bench, but this has been a comfortable game for the Trailblazers, first time in this series. We'll be back.
Resolve trying to extend the season and their playoff hopes without their poor leader, Scottie Pippen. Scottie, obviously some knee problems from the complication from the surgery in March. What would be your status to this next game if we have one?
Well, I mean, right now I'm just day-to-day. I don't know how I'll feel on Wednesday, but at least I have some time to try and heal up a little bit, and I think that's great that the series is spread out. But, for me to make a decision today, it'll be totally impossible. But, I'm looking forward to getting back.
You had the surgery March 18th. You came back for a couple games of the regular season. How did the fluid develop, and what is your prognosis for the rest of the year?
Well, I mean, it never really totally went away. You know, I think playing in game one, I played a lot of minutes, and you know, it just really aggravated it from there, and it's sort of been going in the wrong direction since then.
What about Zach Randolph today?
Zach is playing great. I mean, every opportunity when Zach has been on the court and he's gotten the quality minutes, he's been able to produce.
All right, thanks a lot. Best of health.
All right, thanks.
All right, thank you very much, Craig. Coming up, the Spurs and Suns game 4 with the Spurs leading 2-1. That game to be played in Phoenix. 1 free throw by Stoudemire, who has 17 points, 10 assists, a double-double effort for him. And Jeff pointed out what kind of a boost he has given the team as the backup point guard now. Wells fouling Abdul Wahed.
I just really like Stoudemire's whole demeanor today. Aggressive, but poised and under control. Seeing himself as a scorer, yes, but also making sure he keeps everyone else involved. 10 assists, and a lot of them have been of the dunk or layup variety, which really helps a team get confidence on the offensive end. So Stoudemire's done an excellent job playing the whole second half and making the correct decisions off the pick and roll.
19-point lead for the Trailblazers. Randolph with a feed inside to Ruben Patterson and a 3-second violation against Portland. And talking about Zach Randolph, he established new season highs in points and rebounds and new career playoff highs in both. And Randolph did that in the last game, but really eclipsed that by a mile here in the game number 4. Here's Eschmeyer at the top. 4:20 remaining in the game. Spurs and Suns coming right up. Bell and the rebound by Zach Randolph. 14 rebounds for Zach to go along with his 23. 23 points. Down low to Wells with the turnaround. Knocked away by Wells to Ruben Patterson. And the Trailblazers not enjoyed the lead much in any of the games in this series. Certainly taking advantage of this one. Rasheed Wallace with his 3rd three-point basket of the game. 23 points, and it's 95-73 Portland.
And it'll be time very soon to try to get Wallace out of the game, just to make sure, not really for rest, they have plenty of time in between games, but to avoid any type of injury situation in the last 3 minutes in the garbage time down the stretch.
Or garbage, as you would say in another language. That was Finley with the reverse layup. And here is Zach Randolph. Crowd wanted it to go through for a 3-point possibility. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. Lamisel lessons in footwork right here.
Zach Randolph, good anticipation in his help defensive stance. Knocked it away. And Antonio Daniels coming in for Stoudemire, who played a great basketball game tonight.
11 assists for Damon Stoudemire, 17 points. So if you want to talk about point guard to fill the bill without Scottie Pippen, who is so important to this team, Stoudemire more than fulfilled that role tonight.
Did a great job. I thought he played well as a starter all year. It's just that Pippen is so good at directing an offense that Maurice Cheeks went to that because that gave his team the best chance to win. But that's not in any way to diminish Stoudemire's ability.
Well, what does Dallas do now? I mean, it's 1 loss. Do you say, well, look, we have it going. We have 1 loss in the series. I mean, people say the losing team always make adjustments. What do you say?
Well, I think, obviously, Dallas will respond well and play a much better offensive game in Game 5. But you do have to be concerned about Michael Finley. He's yet to get going. They need him if they're going to keep advancing on in the playoffs.
That's a good point, Jeff. And they also need Steve Nash to revive his game. Scoreless tonight. Timeout. We'll be back. All right, Ernie, thank you very much. So the Blazer fans with something to tonight, leading 97-75 with 2:34 to go. And Zach Randolph is our Gatorade peak performer of the game with a tremendous effort. And Randolph with 24 points and 15 rebounds. Now, what about the fact that the Trailblazers starters played monster minutes tonight? What happens in game number 5?
Well, they have until Wednesday, so I think they'll be able to recuperate. Probably a light day tomorrow, good practice on Tuesday, and then get ready to lock horns with the Mavericks on Wednesday. So the 2 days off, I think, is good for the entire Portland team. Hopefully Sabonis will be back healthy. And go back to the Gatorade player of the game. Randolph, very deserving. Stoudemire had to be in there too as well. I think he played an outstanding game, as I've stated over and over. I'm always going to favor the point guard.
No, and you should, because without the point guard, he makes things go. Daniels with the drive, and here come the Mavericks again. Story of tonight's game, the third quarter, when the Trailblazers outscored the Mavericks 33-10 and blew open this game. And you're right about Stoudemire with his 17 points and 11 assists. Walt Williams for 3 comes up empty. Quintel Woods gets an opportunity in the waning moments of a 20-point lead. Spurs and Suns, they're underway. We're going to go right to that game. Game 4 of that Western Conference first round battle as soon as this game is history. We have 1:20 to go in the 4th. And here is Bonzi Wells, and Williams getting the rebound. The pass up to Raja Bell out of bounds, and it's last touched by Portland. So the Dallas Mavericks will have a streak, and they had won 9 consecutive first-round games in the playoffs. And the Trailblazers will not match the all-time NBA record for most consecutive playoff losses. That streak will end at 10.
In the highly competitive Western Conference, the Dallas have won 9 straight first-round playoff games. Shows their mentality is the right mentality. Come in, get your work done, take care of business, and that goes to Don Nelson, his staff, and their players.
And the turnover. Well, one thing going for Dallas, if you ever want to talk about the worst happening to them, they did not lose 4 games in a row all season. And for them to lose the series, they would have to lose 4 in a row. And there is Nahara and Nowitzki watching mostly in the latter stages of this game, practically the entire 4th quarter, as the Portland Trailblazers stay alive in winning here at the Rose Garden Arena. They refuse to be swept by the Dallas Mavericks. And we'll have a foul with nearly 19 seconds remaining.
Portland's very high on Quintel Woods, the rookie who just got fouled. They believe he's young, he's a good worker, he's got some very good athleticism and perimeter skills. But right now on this loaded team, it's very difficult for him to get minutes. But when he did play this year, Dick, they were very pleased with what they saw.
And he made the jump from junior college to the NBA. Appeared in 53 games this season. Woods, rookie from Northeast Mississippi. Community college. Game 5 of this series will be Wednesday night on TNT from Dallas, as the Portland Trailblazers outscore the Dallas Mavericks by 22 in the second half to win going away. Final score here in Portland: the Trailblazers 98 and the Mavericks 79. This is Dick Stockton for Jeff Van Gundy, Craig Sager, and our crew saying goodnight from Portland. And stay tuned to TNT after this break for Game 4 of the series between the Spurs and the Suns. So long, everybody.